First of all, thanks for having this interview with us. It's really good to see you here in Istanbul, Turkey. And first of all, I would like to ask you that you started your career as an old school black band in 1988. And then your brother, ex-wife, joined the band. After a few albums, a few changes to the band. Is it why ex-wife came to the band, or is it a decision that you gave together?
I mean, we actually started to play together with C in '88. I mean, I was just a year before with a friend of mine, and he was not as interested in the project as I was. And when we started to play with C, I mean, it seems natural. You know, and he already gave some idea for the production for some of the songs that I was actually writing. And then on the third album, Ceremony of Opposite, this is the moment where he started to make all the music by himself. I just had one song on that album to my credit for the music. Then I just focused on the lyrics, concept, and vocal line.
I think he came just after a few demos. Were
Absolutely.
you still in contact before the first album or the EP, or?
You mean see?
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, he joined in. I mean, for the first recording we did on vinyl was Video Prophecy. It was a 7-inch. I mean, he was on it already. So yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, '88. That was the moment when we started playing together. So yeah.
So, being older metal fans, metal listeners, we used to watch a few metal programs in the past, like Headbangers Ball on MTV. And now this video streaming for the metal bands is not so often. You know, there are some channels for the labels, and there are no more so big channels like MTV, big programs. What do you think about this development of the scene? What do you think? Is it good or bad for you? Or
I don't judge it the way you had to deal with it. The way it is. Kind of thing. Music TV is kind of a thing of the past. It doesn't really exist anymore. I mean, as you mentioned, maybe some pop artists are played sometime, but it's just for self-commercials, so it's not longer really a thing. I believe YouTube and some other channel are the way now to have videos played. I mean, people choose to check it out or not. Well, that's the way it is. I mean, I'm not saying it's better, it's worse. I mean, it gives more freedom to the people. I mean, you can choose what you want to see. You don't have to wait for a band that doesn't interest you. You can go straight to the point. Well, it's probably a better thing. Then maybe you don't discover much other thing because you're less interested to sit down and take some time to listen to music.
If the people have more freedom nowadays.
Absolutely.
A lot of people have YouTube channels. They may invite a lot of musicians to their own channels, and they may advertise these musicians. It's a different kind of advertising these people. But in the past, it was not like that. So that I wondered what you think about it. After the Passage album, since to say Eternal, you have much more electronic effects in music, electronics editions, so to say. How did you decide to change that way? So
it kind of came natural. The fact that we use a drum machine on Passage probably kind of start the whole thing because then you can play with loops. We can, Xi was playing the keyboard, so you do other things than just playing notes. We've tried to do songs with more samples than the real drum sound. Even on Passage, a song like Jupiter and Vibe doesn't have much real drum sound.
Yeah,
it's more noises but it works as well. So we've tried different things. Yeah.
And as far as I could remember, this is not your first time in Turkey, is it?
I had this question before. I believe this is our fourth time. I mean, the first time was in 98. I remember that one because that was the only show we played that year. So it's easy to remember. And we just had the mini album Exodus out, and we played that song live. And this is the only time we play it live. So we played it in Istanbul, and that was it. Because then we had a new album, and the song didn't make it to the festival.
I can remember that you've been here in Istanbul a few times, but I can't count the times.
Yeah, but I think that the last time was over 10 years. I believe it was something like 15 or 14 years ago. So yeah, it's a very long time we haven't been here.
So what do you think about the audience generally here in Istanbul?
We're going to see it tonight. I mean, I remember our last show was in a very small club, but the ambience was fantastic. So, I'm looking forward for tonight.
I know that there are a lot of Turkish people living in Switzerland, and you must be used to talk to a few Turkish people around because you may meet them. But most of the people, the musicians from the Europe, they feel a little astonished when they come to Turkey. They don't expect such an audience. What did happen when you first came to Turkey?
Well, I mean, the first
Can you remember it?
We've been, yeah, of course. I mean, as I say, it was the only show we played that year, so yeah, I remember it perfectly. I mean, it was quite a big place. I think it was like 1,500 people or something like this. Tour was the headlining, and we were just playing before them. So, for an introduction, that's pretty good. So, the other show we played were smaller than that one, and tonight is bigger. So, it's good to go in full circle. And playing with Vorph tonight, it's funny.
I hope so. And for the last question, I don't want to take your time too much because you will have to do your performance. Do you have near future plans? What are you planning to do? Are you going to do something like your last album? Or one day would you like to turn to your roots and maybe use that electronics a little less, maybe?
I'm not sure. I mean, we're actually finishing the album right now, at this moment. So, well, not now precisely, but yeah. For what I can tell, I mean, it's pretty much the following of hegemony. We always try to have a red line in what we're doing. So I think there is a connection in what we've done in the past as well. I mean, I see it. I don't know if people feel it or see it, but for me, it's always kind of logical. There is a back and forth thing, and we try to consolidate it. So to have I don't know, sort of path which is ours, and so it's the next step. I mean, it's just the following of the last album which was released 7 years ago now. So yeah, it took us some time.
Okay, so I may maybe ask you one more question. So what do you think the audience, the difference between the audiences when you first began the band and the audience now coming to see your shows? Do you feel any differences? Do you think that you have other audiences that you never had before?
Well, probably. I mean, there is people who haven't seen us. That's for sure. But generally speaking, I think since almost 20 years now, people are filming shows more than any time before. So that's the new thing. A lot of people try to have a souvenir from their camera instead of from their mind, and they sometimes participate a little bit less depending where you're playing. So, okay, I accept the change. I mean, it's okay for me too. I mean, we try to have a relation with the crowd when we're playing, and as long as we succeed in making the connection, well, then whatever goes. That's fine. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was years before that you released Passage, and I was a huge fan of Passage, and you're one of my childhood heroes.
Samael.
And really, I would like to thank you for making the music.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Cool.